Does that work? No
Was this the laptop thing? Yeah, we'll get rid of it. We'll feed it. It's not here. Yeah, it's there to support us. We got it on. And we can put this in there. Listen to this. It's been going for a year. I don't know where it is. I have to listen real quick. Sometimes I have to come off the bill. Well, they're looking at it. I teach them that. So they used to do it. You can, it'll, you can.
Okay. That's time to start. Good.
Welcome to our Houston County Commission Administrative Meeting. The date is January 6, 2022. First line item, awards and presentation. Number one is proclamation we have for Human Trafficking Awareness Month. Ms. Gia Hughes will be here from Data Hope Incorporated. To the founder, we have a problem with that proclamation. Item number two on the awards and presentation, we have the fiscal year 2021 from our Houston County Reveal Alabama annual report. Tyler Reed, who is Assistant County Engineer, is going to present I guess not necessarily a presentation, but some type form of presentation. He's going to present that on Monday. Also, we have issues or problems with that. Agenda. On the regular agenda, we have 4 items. Item number 1 is a request to adopt resolution for Peter Colbert to submit applications to the ACCA for designation as a certified county administrator. That okay, y'all okay with that?
Yeah, no.
Item number 2 is a request to reappoint Melvin Tribune to the Houston County Personnel Board. Let's put this on the agenda. Item number 3. Request to remove current part-time community outreach coordinator position to full-time with benefits and approve accompanying budget amendment. Chris Jewett, EMA director, he's gonna request to do that. You want to talk about that more? Good.
Do you have any questions about it, or?
That's kind of self-explanatory.
Sure. It's actually no more money. It's just a budget movement, budget amendment to move funding. So it's no extra money or anything.
I read the job description. Do you mind taking just a minute to talk about the additional capabilities that your office will have? Should we move forward with this?
Sure. Actually, this position has been a part-time position so far. It's been a very valuable position on several factors. Number one, we've also incorporated that to help with our REP program, Radiological Emergency Preparedness and Planning. And with the farm center being, you know, in the state that it's in, things like that, we've got to rewrite our entire mitigation plans for that and things of that nature. And unfortunately, we're in a time crunch for that. So we're going to need as much help as we can. So that's going to help with that as well, and also be sort of a assistant to that position. In addition, what we've done is we've reached out to senior centers, schools, and churches, things of that nature. We've been going out and giving programs, presentations, whether it has to do with radiological emergencies, weather issues, anything that they need that we are involved with. We've been going out working really well with Alabama Department of Public Health. We will be starting some wellness checks and wellness presentations where we go out with a new truck that has been purchased, the Aardvark, doing partnered with paramedics, ADPH, going out and doing flu shots, flu testing, COVID shots, and other types of wellness checks at senior centers, schools, and things of that nature. So it's really turned out to be a really good community project that has brought several agencies together working together. Did that answer?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Our community director has certainly covered a lot of field of operations out there and for the communities, and it's certainly going to be a good thing for to expand in operation of what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
The talking about the first needing a vehicle, that those vehicles, it says vehicles operate under EMA equipment, so they'll be allowed to operate. They have a personal vehicle.
No, sir. Actually, under the vehicle, what I'm doing is I was going to purchase a new vehicle. I'm sacrificing that vehicle for the salary. We have a vehicle that we can use now instead of getting another vehicle or replacing that one now. We'll look at doing that later on, and it'll actually save the commission money at the end of the year because the difference in the salary and the vehicle obviously is a lot more than the salary would be. So the commission's making money off doing this. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Item number 4, first award bid for herbicides, lowest meet specs on road and bridge. What was that?
That's just our chemicals we use for our roadside spray. And
An objection put down.
Just a question.
Question to it.
How much has this increased year over year last year? I was told that a lot of herbicides make up as much as
the
double.
tub of Roundup went from $3,000 to $9,000 this year. So we increased our budget a little bit. I'm not sure the line amount. I have that on, I can't remember that exactly, but it didn't go up that much. But we have pre-bought some from the year before. So maybe this year will be all right, but next year it may, herbicide budget may go way up.
When you say Roundup, you mean, are we buying generic glyphosate or are we buying
We
name
buy
brand?
generic, whatever's cheapest. Sometimes Roundup H2O is cheapest.
Really?
Yeah. Whatever's cheapest, we buy.
Objection back to 4. Anything, comments, remarks from the commission?
I guess it's personnel director.
Yeah, we'll
talk with it. Yeah.
Walker. Yeah, remarks, anything else? Nancy?
No, sir, I'm fine. Thank you.
From the floor, we're here from the floor. Come on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is George Trotter, reside at 4218 County Road 203. That was in Alabama 36301. Have a question probably for Mr. Kirkland and y'all, the commission. Do we have in the Road and Bridge or in the Houston County Commission relative to herbicide? This is the item I'm able to talk on. Do we have a vegetation management person or consultant? And my question is, how much herbicides and what herbicides are we using? I see a lot of spraying, a lot of people, citizens across the county see spraying on the side of the road at odd times of the year, wondering what's out there, and I don't see much results. If you don't have, I would highly suggest you to consider getting you a consultant, either temporary or hire one, to address that, because there's a lot of money and a lot of science into that, and if you're not using it, it's not going to perform, and it's costing us, the taxpayers, a lot of money. And it seems like we're getting a lot of waste out there, and you really shocked me. I've been out of the loop, Mr. Kirkland, to say that Roundup, glyphosate, generic or whatever, has gone from $3,000 to $9,000, and that's what, per drum or something, is that
Per tote.
per tote? Yeah. And that, I've been out of the loop, but that doesn't surprise me, but that's my comments. Thank you.
Chairman, thank you, Mr. Trotter. You have to look at the balancing of the cost of what it costs to spray herbicides compared to the cost of what it costs to run 5 tractors, bat wings, man hours. Fuel cost is escalating just as like the herbicide cost is escalating. So management of what they're doing, the herbicide seems to be working well. I've seen that through the summer. A lot less extensive than running bat wings 2 or 3 times a year. And so that's something that we don't have any control over, the cost of how it escalates these prices. But I think they're using exactly what required through their management ability to determine the amount of herbicide that goes on as a farmer, you figure it up per acre, but what they do, they figure it up per mile. So it's still a cost, but we have to watch it. I'm glad that they pre-ordered this prior to the escalating of the prices for herbicides now. So maybe next year something ought to go down and we can continue to go with what we do.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make another comment. Just to acknowledge, I'm not bright and an expert in any field, but it happens to be that I am an agronomist, and I have worked for 2 different contractors on Fort Rucker for 6 years, over 2,500 acres of vegetation management on airfields across southeast Alabama. That was my responsibility, and I can tell you unequivocally, it's cheaper if you know what you're doing, and of course you have to be a certified applicator, which I am, have been for 40 years. You have to know the science, know the products, and there's room for improvement. I can tell you that on our road right of ways right here. You may want to touch base with, of course, the Department of Transportation. I'm assuming has that information to feed down to the counties, roadside. But I'm telling you, there's a lot we're missing out there for whatever reasons in getting efficiency use of herbicide. And like you say, the cost is dramatic between running high dollar equipment and personnel operating that equipment. And there's a mix of the two. On Fort Rucker, we cut on a regular basis, and we had a herbicide application on a regular basis. And it's called vegetation management. It's a, basically a system is what it is. Thank you.
Let me say something. We have all kinds of counties and state agencies that contact us about our vegetation management program. We consult everybody. We started a new herbicide last year to cut out complete spray, and I think we're doing all we need to do with our vegetation management program. So,
Any more comments on the floor? We'll now hear from our county personnel director, Sheridan, coming out.
Okay. It's my understanding that you just wanted me to make a few comments about the COVID numbers. We are, as a workforce, we are trending just like the rest of the county and the rest of the state, and we are seeing numbers tick up. We are gonna make some changes to what our protocols are for our employees. I'll be sending something out later on today. But we do plan to go back to the health assessments to enter the building, and mask mandated for employees that cannot distance. And it will be optional for the public. Any other questions?
Only question, just a consideration, what y'all take into account are contemplate the plan.
Ms. Shu, please speak into the mic where we
The
can hear.
CDC requirements, their recommendations that we go through, it's a 5-day quarantine after a positive test. We talk about versus 10-day, which is, I think, what we're still leaning towards
Sure.
saying. Would you talk about what that just so I understand?
Yes, I'm glad you asked because we are getting some pushback from that, but I talked to the state health officer, I talked to Corey Kirkland. You know, part of the reason that the CDC did change those guidelines is that there's a labor shortage, not just in our state, but all over the country. Many cities, many states, airlines are shutting down and canceling, they don't have the labor force. When they looked at the Omicron variant, it is generally 1 to 5 day is the highest transmission, with that being 2 to 4 days. So they just picked 5 days and trying to get people back to work. They're also along with that 5 days, saying fully, completely, correctly masked in that 5 days after that. And you know, as well as I do, from everywhere you've gone, you don't see people masking correctly. We cannot track it once they get back into the workforce. I can't manage that to make sure that everybody that is COVID positive is wearing masks. So, speaking with them, you know, we decided that for all employers is basically not just us. He was speaking generally for all employers that can still maintain their operations, that they are still recommending 10. The 5 days is to reduce it so we don't have an economy shut down, get people back in the workforce. So we, as an employer, have decided, and to protect the public and our employees, we're going to take the most conservative approach possible. And we're still going to keep on doing what we've been doing because it's been working.
I don't know where we're headed as a country. I do know that we need to take all and any necessary precautions. The variant is still increasing. You still have 1 million new cases occurring a day, 1,500 deaths occurring every single day. And all I can do is continue to encourage us to encourage everyone you see to take every precautionary measure that is possible.
Just quick, I couldn't hear very well in all the comments. Are we looking at going back to masking to come back into these public buildings?
It's just encouraged right now. Right now, it's just encouraged, but employees are really mandatory. More questions? Right. Dismissed.